All right, we're good. We're good. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome.
For me, Thursdays are like the beginning and the end of the week for me because I enjoy doing the show so much. So it's like I keep the whole show, through the, I count Thursdays at the beginning and the end. But you're running off to the cottage again this weekend, aren't you?
Yep, I'm going back for another retreat.
Another solo meditation retreat?
No, this time it's like a fight club. We're going to just be like beating the crap out of each other and reconnecting with our manhood through just beatings.
Sounds awesome. I thought I would get away, for a nice solo retreat this week. I took 4 days off, two days off of work.
Oh!
I thought I'd go get become one with the universe, and my weekend started 2 minutes, literally a 4-hour truck to get to the cottage. 2 minutes from getting to the cottage, the transmission blows out on my van. That was how it started, and that pretty much carried on. I was so destroyed by that event that it just wiped my whole vacation. I was so pissed off at it. I'd spend the whole weekend getting the transmission fixed, and it was just awful. But you know what? You even learn from the bad times and all that stuff. So
No, you don't. You don't learn.
you know,
You go back.
So so I didn't have much time to prepare because it cut halfway through the weekend, but I thought I would touch on a subject that I think is beneficial to all, and I thought I'd put all the pressure on your shoulders and let you lead. What are we talking about tonight?
The internet.
What about the internet? Sorry about the dogs in the background and the
So distracting.
But
The internet, is it good or is it bad for personal growth? Is that it?
Yeah, well, I thought using it as a tool for personal development, whether it's just your regular old straight up personal development or spiritual development, using the internet as a tool to develop oneself. It's funny, when you go to the most viewed pages on the internet, what are the most common things that you're going to find that people are watching these days?
Probably gardening tutorials.
You'll get hit with Mr. Beast, the most recent gangster rap video, BTS, some funny
Porn!
thing. Porn, not on YouTube.
But on the internet.
But on the internet. The stuff that people are watching en masse speaks in volumes to where I think we are.
Why is it so hot in here? It's
I'm
so
sorry.
damn hot in here. It is a sweat lodge.
You're gonna have to.
It's a two-part episode. This is also us going through a
You're gonna have to
native
put up.
sweat lodge
You're gonna have to.
ritual.
You're gonna have to put up with it for tonight's episode. We are in the midst of a heat wave.
Ignore the shininess of my cranium.
We are in the midst of a heat wave. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I think the view counts on the videos that are out there speak volumes to what people are most enthralled with and what they're really spending their time with. But if you deviated from that, if you got off the path and you really wanted to help yourself, the tools are out there like they've never been in the existence of humanity before. Agree or not agree?
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Have you ever used the internet to help you develop in your growth?
Yeah, I've used the internet to help me develop. I've definitely done that, which I think almost everybody has done. Like,
To some extent.
who
I
needs
guess.
a dictionary, for Pete's sake, when you got the internet? Who needs a thesaurus? Who needs a whatever?
Can you imagine back in the day? It's funny because it's so new. It's still relatively a new thing. Like as a kid, which is only, like 20, 25 years ago, the internet was just starting, but it was not as useful as it is today.
Mm-hmm.
You still would buy Cole's Notes when I was in high school.
Mhm.
You still have to go to the library, get the book. You couldn't order it from Amazon. But now everything is at your fingertips. And I wanted to bring that to attention in this episode because I still think that it is something that is being dramatically underutilized, don't you think?
The internet's being underutilized
For personal development and growth. I think there are facets of people out there, but on the masses still.
Come on.
I don't know if
What you're
it's-
really trying to ask is the internet being underused for making money?
Well,
Yes,
maybe.
it's being underused for making money,
It's
in my
being
opinion.
underused for-
Yes, because I don't think that finding a bunch of online garbly-goop and repartee about spirituality is necessarily, it's not the same thing as some guy, trudging up a mountain with a cane to go meet a guru in a cave that's gonna, I don't think you're gonna get the same effect from some internet guru as you would from somebody that's got go on
a pilgrimage.
a pilgrimage. Yeah.
Yeah, it might not be as glamorous, but in just the basic fundamentals of habits and how to develop yourself and grow as a human, I think there's so much out there. I remember when you went kind of back to school for a bit there. That was when I first started kind of getting into this. Probably 3 or 4 years ago. Up until then, I was just watching crap on the internet. I was just filming
YouTube.
myself with
Cats.
my own, epic nut kick compilations.
Yeah.
And that was all I was watching, and basically trying to anything that I did believe at the time, I would look that stuff up to kind of solidify my own beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say my cyber journey online developed when I really started asking the opposite questions of what I thought was true and what I believed. And there was a time there where I put the video games down, I put TV down, I wasn't watching anything. All I was doing was listening to personal self-development stuff for a year solid, and I definitely felt like it helped me in my life.
Okay. So I would say, from my own stupid opinion,
Or devil's advocate, is this where you're going?
well, I don't. It's not even devil advocate. It's just my own opinion based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think collectively, the internet has been conducive to an awakening, so to speak. We're in the age of information. It is like a second wave of age of enlightenment. The original one was colleges being more information being disseminated. Clearly, we're in a similar place, and I do think it is conducive to people maybe there being a higher volume of people having access to things spiritual and things that can grow them and all kinds of different things. To label that good or bad seems silly to me, because if a meteor hit tomorrow, it doesn't matter, and I know that you can, replicate that thought a million different times and argue all kinds of different back and forth things about it, but come on, don't be silly here. The idea that the fact that we're learning so much and we have so much access to it, and that collectively we might be growing. I mean, cancer grows. I don't know that you should.
So just evolving, maybe. I don't know.
All kinds of things evolve. It's not always good to evolve. To label it good seems like a little bit hasty to me.
Yeah. I think I'm more on the optimistic side. I have a feeling that we are moving into a revolution of knowledge where
But why is that good?
Positive
Why
information.
is
It might not be
Why
good.
is it good? Why is the tree
It could
good?
be-
Why is the
could be-
sky good?
it could
Why
be
are
bad.
flowers good?
It could be bad. I'm just saying, I do think we are, like you said before, we're moving into a new age of enlightenment through technology. And whether we see it or not, I think it's actually bringing us together, and there are forces at B right now that are trying to prevent that from happening.
What
like
forces?
In countries like China, you're limited on certain things. I don't even know if they're allowed to watch YouTube, but my mother taught in China, and she said when she was over there, sure, access was blocked to all types of things. In terms of information that they're like, there's certain things that they don't want you to see. But we can't kid ourselves either. There are also things right now currently that are being blocked from our eyes, definitely on YouTube, and it has never been more evident than with the whole COVID thing.
Right, okay, so by that logic, if there are things that are being blocked from our eyes, then how do you know that whatever kind of, spiritual enlightenment is going on isn't part of the plan, isn't part of some kind of clandestine plan to get people to feel some sort of spiritual, pseudo-spiritual intellectualism?
So do you think it might be like it's being like a conspiracy, like
No.
forces that B could be trying to make us?
I wouldn't lower myself to think that low. What I'm saying is, if you're going to play that game, then if you're going to think in those terms, then you ain't got no place talking about spirituality, because because
What do you mean by that?
what does the truth have to do with you if it's if you're so easily manipulated, or you're so easily
by your access to be able to get it or see it from somewhere else.
right?
Yes, because what you would say that we need to look internally and find the truth within us first.
I don't know what it is. But what I'm saying is, if they're blocking some things, but they're not blocking discussions about enlightenment or spirituality or astral projection, if they're not blocking that, then clearly it's not a threat.
But that was what I was going to say. They possibly don't see it as a threat yet. It might become that might change. What I would like to bring attention to, not even bring attention to. It just bothered me when I was. Right now, there's all this push for vaccines and getting this and getting that, and I'm like, I go online to try and get both sides of the fence, and I can only get one side, and that's irritating to me in this day and age.
Both sides of the fence of what?
Of like whether or not you should definitely go out and get that vaccine, or you shouldn't. And the only thing right now currently keeping me from getting the vaccine is that they won't even let me see I want to see the conspiracy guys and the guys who say it's horseshit and don't get it. The InfoWars guy and the Stefan Molyneux. I want to see them. I want to see the bullshitters if they are bullshitters. They should be allowed to have a space.
I don't know anything about Stefan Molyneux. Or whoever else.
Who's that? Well, this InfoWars guy. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Alex Jones. Listen, those guys, everybody has their kick at the can when it comes to crazy postulations and opinions. And those guys, typically, they understand that pushing the envelope is salacious and collects eyeballs. And so, how do you not see that since the dawn of media, especially televised media, that there's been some sense of control over those type of things?
Yeah.
Alex Jones claimed that the Sandy Hook shootings were not real. He went on trial for it. And you could be like, free speech, free speech. But you can't do anything you want in a civilized society, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, I don't know much about Stephen Molyneux. I do know a little bit about, what's his name, the guy with the glasses, he worked for Vice. I forget his name now.
Stephanopoulos or whatever the heck.
No,
not Milo.
Not Milo, but even Milo.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even Milo is an example. A lot of these guys had an addiction to push the envelope towards salaciousness to the point where they knew they were going to offend.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. This isn't a controversial channel. Anyway, my point is, it's not necessarily about truth at this point when it comes to the internet. It's about what makes the bucks. It doesn't matter if you're selling shit in a handbag. If it can make large corporations money, they don't care.
Yes, I still think that that still rules the day, obviously. We're still in the age of money. But I thought it's ridiculously obvious when you Google, when you go onto YouTube and you type in, why not to get the vaccine, and there's not one video. Not one. I'm like, I don't believe that. I don't believe there's not one guy out there saying, hey, you shouldn't get the vaccine, because I hear it all the time. When you're people posting shit all over Facebook and all the social media stuff, you got your vacciners and your anti-vaxxers and all that stuff. I don't know. I'll probably end up getting it. I don't know. I'm not either way. I just want to have the information, and it bothers me that in this day and age we don't.
You kind of picked a side there with that statement.
What?
You kind of picked a side with the saying that they're holding back information against getting an vaccine.
I just can't find it. It drives me nuts. I'm not picking a side.
You don't get to.
You don't get to not pick a side.
You don't get to be on fence sitter land. I'm still on fence sitter land.
Well, whatever. I'm gonna, like I said, when they make us take it, which looks like it's probably gonna happen in our country. When they make us take it, then I guess I'll be getting it.
Where's your God then? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, everybody. Take it easy.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But back on subject, I do still think, like, with all that said, there's still an awful lot of opportunity to help yourself in your life, where you're going with the internet, whether, there's so many questions you can ask yourself now that you can get multiple perspectives on, which I think is fantastic in the day and age. And if you're not utilizing it, there's simple things that you can do. Me, in my life, one thing I do, and I know you've done it before too, like, I'm lucky I get a job where I sit in a vehicle like half my day. So I just put stuff on my phone and I listen to information that helps
Don't tell your job that!
I still work. It's not like they still know I work. Right. It's like listening to the radio. Don't listen to the radio.
Some jobs don't let you listen to the radio.
Yeah. Well, I can do it in my job, and I don't think anyone.
Heinz gets velvet.
But
no, some jobs.
There's tons of things. If you're making a long trek, man, or if you're cleaning your house, instead of listening to the same songs you've listened to over and over and over again for the 10 millionth time, you can actually put on things that'll might make you test yourself. And
what's the whole point of this damn thing? Is the internet good or bad? Right?
No. It was can it work for you in personal development? Can it help you grow?
It depends on what you consider personal development. If there's a 60-year-old dude who's been cloistered for 30 years, that's like, suppressed every sexual urge he has, that's about to climb a gun cap tower and shoot everybody, that's a lot different than some guy that found the internet and is like, there's other weirdos like me.
There's still opportunity.
Here comes the sun.
It's still.
There's a huge.
What are you doing?
There's a huge difference. It's perspective. It depends on the individual.
All right, so you're not. You sit on the side of it doesn't matter.
Yes, of
okay.
course.
All right,
I'm a nihilist.
Okay, well,
we've gone. Not you.
You're a fool. But no, I would say use the internet.
Use it. Red. You look.
I'm hot. It's funny hot here. Don Cherry Red. But you can. I say use the internet. Use it. He says whatever. Do whatever you want. But I say use it, and use it to your advantage while you still can. But yeah. That is that all you have to say, or you got something else to say about that? No, he's not. Okay. Well, anyway, so this week in spiritual subjects and people and types, I decided to look at the Rastafarians. What do you know, without saying anything, what do you know about Rastafarians?
I believe that pot is a huge part of their religion.
Yes, it is a part. It's not mandatory, but it is a part. Anything else do you know about Rastafarians?
Did they believe in Zion?
Yes, Zion is a place in Africa that I think is in Ethiopia.
Right. So go on with the Rastafarians.
So Rastafarians, yeah. Well, a lot of common things with Rastafarians, people think that its origins are right from Jamaica, and that's not totally not true. It's kind of half true. It kind of stems out of Ethiopia and Jamaica, and they have like a pseudo, I don't know, somewhat skewed view of Christianity, where they do believe in Jesus, they believe in God, but the other side of the Trinity is a emperor from Ethiopia whose name was Haile Selassie. I'm butchering that. Haile Selassie. I'm not even going to say it again. Their main guy. That's what I'm going to call him. Their main guy. But he was an emperor in Ethiopia who's supposed to be a descendant of Solomon, and I forget the queen's name, but she's a famous queen too. But anyway, this guy was a big part of Ethiopia in the 1930s and between 1930 and 1974, and he was kind of deified in Jamaica because I guess the people from Jamaica has a lot to do with colonialism and slavery and them taking back the religion as a part of their own African identity. And they believe in kind of like a minimalist type of lifestyle, in not putting your senses like non-hedonistic, not, control over your sexual urges, and how you eat. They eat very healthy diets. And part of they also look very old school in terms of, they go back to books like Leviticus to bring about this is why they have dreadlocks, to not cut your hair and stuff like that, kind of the way the Jews do, right? Jews
have the way I do it.
The dreadlocks, and for them, like, the longer the dreadlocks, the longer it goes. For them, it's a sign of their commitment and their long endurance in their faith. And it's a sign of wisdom that they've been so long in there, and they've been practicing Rastafarians. But they believed that this emperor was some kind of second coming of Christ, and that he died apparently, but the Rastafarians don't believe. They believe he went into hiding, so I don't know what the whole deal with that is. There's not a ton of Rastafarians. It's kind of weird. The stats aren't totally accurate, I think. It's somewhere between, there's 250,000 to 1 million Rastafarians in the world. That's a big gap, but no one really knows. But they're spread all over the world. There's actually Rastafarians in Japan. It'd be weird to see a Japanese person with dreadlocks. I've never seen that.
How dare you?
How dare you? I've never seen it.
How dare you make an observation?
Maybe it does exist. I don't know. But weed apparently is supposed to be the leaf from the tree of what's it in the Bible?
Knowledge of good and evil.
Knowledge of good and evil. And so they're big on smoking weed for spiritual growth and practices. I think they believe like it dissolves the ego and never mind my phone there. So the Rastafarians, kind of interesting as a religion, and I thought that would be
whatever you gotta do to justify your pot smoking.
Yeah. So yeah, you can open your chakras by smoking weed. And,
Sure.
and
I've opened tons of chakras from animals, especially.
Oh, really good, yeah. But yeah. So anyway, that pretty much does it for the show tonight. I want to say thank you to everyone who's out there watching us.
Thanks, everyone who's
and
watching.
if you like the show, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button. We would love to hear comments from you. Comment. We want to hear.
Make fun of my stupid
And,
man bun.
If there's something on the channel that you'd like to hear us to jabble about or talk about, we will
Jabble about it.
we'll jabble about it. So we'll talk about it, and you can share it with a friend if you like it. And other than that, we'll see you next week, and
Stay spiritual.